0, 1. Let's get started.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host Andreas. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. In this video we're going to be doing a short, sharp, quick review of the dominance over Port Adelaide. It was just a fantastic game. It was a game that I think as supporters and as a club in general we needed. We needed to stamp our authority. What an absolute ripper of a game. Let's just get straight into it. So first and foremost, how good footy, MCG, Saturday night, the Pies, it was poetic in all its beauty. 63,500 people were there. So pretty good considering that we're playing against a side that barely ever travels against us unless they're playing in a final. So, and that's a dig that I'll happily continue saying. But all in all, every aspect of the game was just perfect. First quarter, let's be real, they scored that first goal. I thought to myself, geez, like straight away, okay, here we go again. Pretty much after they got that first goal, we just dominated every aspect of the game. I haven't got the stats in front of me because we don't need it. The scoreboard says everything else. What I loved the most about, especially in the first half, was just the sync and the first quarter was just the sync that we had between the mids and the forwards. You'd see it last week and it really frustrated me and it frustrated everybody. We were going long top, like hospital kicks into the forward line. It wasn't working really well. I noticed we were going a bit more short and sharp into the forward line this game, especially in the first half. And then as the game went on, obviously the big long kicks came in, but they were paying off. The forward line clicked and it was the perfect example of what we are capable of. Now, Port, I think, are going to be a mid-table side this year, potentially now after seeing them there. They're missing so much of what the quality that they had last year, Dan Houston being one, which we'll talk about in a second. They looked off in every facet of the game. The first 2 minutes, they were obviously up and about once they scored that goal. But after that, there was nothing. I found that in the last quarter when we were pushing to win to get that 100-point margin, then they decided to wake up and they didn't want to get it like that. So they did everything they can to try and score goals or keep us from actually kicking that final one to bring it over to the 100-point mark, which in the end of the day is fine. The percentage boost is amazing. I think we're at 126% at the moment. So that works out fantastic for us. I'm glad that we obviously won by over 52 points. So our percentage obviously goes right up and it's not breaking even. So all in all, the game itself, we did everything that we needed to do. I don't know if there was one thing that I was really disappointed about the most, probably not being able to finish the 100-point margin, but that's just being greedy. At the end of the day, it's just good the fact that we just shut everybody up, and this is a point that I wanted to make straight away. The media have been on us. It sort of died down after Richmond beat Carlton, and that got a lot of the focus, which helped us, I do think, in that sense. But the fact that we were able to go out there and just reverse everything that needed to happen. We were able to reverse the narrative. We were able to turn around as a club, and McRae must have done something indoors and identified this is not the club that we are. This is not the type of football that we play. We don't get found out like that. We don't get exposed like that. And the fact that we were able to turn around and perform the way we did last night is a credit. I just spat then. I'm so excited. I apologize. The fact that we are able to, reverse everything that happened last week is a credit to the club and the players. There's a few other little things I want to talk about, but I'm just overall, there's not much you can review about it apart from the fact that, every facet of the game was fantastic. The one thing, though, I will say that I was so happy with was our tackling pressure in the forward line, in defence. There was a couple of times that I found in the second quarter, Port Adelaide were bringing the ball up and we were pushing so high up, we actually got found out with a couple of their, I think it was Georgiades and Willie Rioli were alone in the forward line. Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe have run back and they've spoiled it and they've created the stoppage, which, to be honest, last week or at even parts of last season, that was a direct goal. I don't know if you guys remember the Sydney game at the start of last year, which was about a year ago when we did the flag unveiling and stuff. They scored 3 or 4 goals from just turnovers where we were pushed up too high and the ball just went over the top. And like Logan McDonald, I think it was, or whoever, were just waiting by themselves, walking into open goals. There was a time in the second quarter that almost happened, but how hard we pushed back was fantastic. My only worry, excuse me, my only worry is that sometimes I feel like when we've got momentum, even the half-backs, we're pushing up way too high. A quick turnaround and we're getting found out. Teams like Hawthorn, teams like the Bulldogs, if they had all their players back, yes. Teams like Carlton, even though they were rubbish, they can kill you on the counter-attack. And I think that's going to be a bit of a problem for us this season. The way we double back was fantastic, but we've just got to be able to maybe not go as high up, even when we're pressuring really well and the momentum's going our way, because we can get found out really quickly. It's been our sort of tale since 22 when McRae sort of took over. That's my opinion, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's just get to some other quick points. So as I said, the forward line gelled really well. The Triple M's kicked 10 goals between them, which, to be honest, is exactly what you want. There's no problems with that. That worked well. They didn't get in each other's way. There was one forward, though, who did get in the way of some of the other forwards, and that was Jamie Elliott. Now, he had a really good game also. In the third quarter, the ball came in from, it was a stoppage, and then the ball came in, and the ball was being kicked to Dan McStay. Dan McStay is running back in the goal square. He's got a Port Adelaide player there, but Jamie Elliott's run to try and take a running back mark, and he actually got in his way. The ball went down on the ground. Schultz was able to do his job, so that part of it was good. Schultz was roving the pack, bang, socked it through, kicked a goal. Fantastic. That's awesome. But the ball shouldn't have come to ground. In that sense, Jamie Elliott shouldn't have tried to take that mark. That was McStay's mark. Because Jamie Elliott has played most of his career at Collingwood as a tall forward, and he's not. He was playing as the second forward, so you've got to play tall. I think it's embedded in his game. He's going to go for those. He's going to crush those packs. So effectively, we've sort of got 4 tall forwards in that sense. I don't want to see Jamie Elliott going up for those marks, especially if you've got one of the Triple M's there. He should have been roving the pack. I haven't got the footage, but it's in the third quarter. Check it out and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Schultz was able then to do his role and soccer it, so that's a credit to him. That's something the club definitely needs to work on regardless. The whole issue with Scott Pendlebury coming in as a sub, I didn't think affected us too much. I thought when he came on, I don't think he actually looked slow at all. It just obviously took a couple of minutes for him to try and obviously get into the game, but his disposal was actually quite well. There was a kick that he did, I think, over to Jamie Elliott or to one of the forwards where I couldn't even see where that forward was, and he just kicked it to this spot, and that forward ran and took the mark in the last quarter. His awareness and his coaching on the field is second to none. We need that. Is he the super sub? Potentially. Did we see that? No. Did I think he'd be a sub during the season? Potentially, yes, here and there. Not so early. And there may have been worrying signs and stuff like that after the GWS game, but they're a super quick team. He is 37 years of age, so you've got to take that into consideration also. But otherwise, there was nothing part of him being a sub that was bad. And I think that can say the beginning of the end for Scott Pendlebury, my opinion, but who knows. Just a quick shout out to Dan Houston spewing that goal. Obviously didn't get allowed, but he was everywhere. 27 disposals, just dominated everywhere. He only had 1 turnover, which did result in one of their goals, but it was in the second quarter. He went to kick it, and the Port Adelaide player came across him, so he had to lower the kick, which means it didn't actually get over the other Port player to get to, I think it might have been Josh Dacos or Nick Dacos. So, you can forgive that. But around the ground, his work and pressure was fantastic. I thought that was one of Braden Maynard's best games. He's had heaps of good games for us, but he was electric and he dobbed 2 goals. Imagine putting that in your multi. Jesus. The first one was great. The second one, the confidence is there. Let him go. Let him run for it. And I'd love to see Bruzzy do that because Josh Dacos can do that. Dan Houston can do that. Jeremy Howe can do that. Darcy Moore can do that if he actually wanted to. And to see Bruzzy do it, it's like, hey, you've got a couple of half backs here. Quainer can do it too. Our whole half back, our whole defense, if they want to push that high, if they're there, they can actually do that. And you saw Bruzzy do it, and it was just fantastic. The other one too, I thought it was his absolute breakout game, and I want you guys to tell me what you think in the comments. I thought that was Ned Long's game where he cemented his spot in that Collingwood team as another tall inside mid. Does that put pressure on someone like Ed Allen to stay out of the side? I don't know. It's good pressure, but what happens moving forward? But Ned Long, that was his best game in Collingwood colours, and we should be very excited that we've got this utility tall mid here that can come into the side and on his day can perform like that. The opposition obviously wasn't switched on. It wasn't the greatest when you've got better opposition, or him starting as a sub and may take him longer to get into the game. But that was by far his best game in Collingwood colours, and he looked very, very dangerous and could be a secret weapon for us. So watch this space. I'm just so happy that we did what we did. We all should be so happy that we did what we did, but it just shuts the narrative up in the media. And they can actually turn around and say, hang on a second, opening round, which shouldn't have been played, we shouldn't have been part of it, was just a day they were off. What's that word? Anomaly or something like that? I don't know. It was just one of those days that they were off. We came out, we showed we are still in contention for this. We want to make the finals. We want to qualify, like Fly says, for the finals. And then there's no ceiling on what we can achieve this season and potentially next as well. When we play like this, when we click, and we need to click all the time because the competition is so even. I also want to give a shout out to the people that came up to me at the MCG and said hi. That was awesome. One of the guys even came down from the Gold Coast to say hi, which I thought was crazy. But guys, I'm so excited for what this season's got. It's such a difference compared to last week. But it's just awesome the fact that we can now go through the rest of the weekend with a really good win, enjoy the replay. There was no major injuries, and we can move on and get ready for a massive game on Friday night. Another short turnaround. Footy's coming thick and fast, but it's back at the G, and I was so excited last night. It was siphoning hot, but we did it, which is awesome. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Call it as you see it. And as always, go the Pies.